not your problem.
That is true.
That is true. I came on my feed, the Frontier Animal Sweepstakes. You mentioned this.
Frontier animals.
Do you remember this? You mentioned it before your
Today.
What's the old joke I love?
This does not sound familiar.
Okay.
Had I been drinking?
Award
Maybe. I don't know. It was early in the morning.
No, probably not. No.
Sick and span, in shape, and like the guy can't get his room clean.
It was,
He's getting an
I know
award
you
for it.
mentioned it.
Equipment manager that keeps the
I know,
equipment
because
clean
when I
and
saw
stuff.
it, well, okay.
It depends on the motivation, you know?
I'll email everybody
Okay.
in the office when I get back, but
Where do
they're
you live
giving
now?
away something to Crystal River, and
Wow.
it says that we're giving it away.
Really? Awesome.
And I was like, oh, this is what Terry mentioned, but what are we
Oh,
giving
oh,
away?
Frontier Airlines.
Yes.
There'll be a Commodore,
Okay.
I mean a
Yes,
Commodore.
now it's coming back to you.
You said Frontier Animal something. I was like,
No, Frontier, it's Frontier
Airlines.
Airlines, it's an animal
Yes.
sweepstakes.
I got recruited to play
That's what
football
they're
for
calling it.
Vanderbilt.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we giving away?
Ah,
Can I
excellent.
take
They're
it? Take it.
usually,
I don't know it yet,
that's
but-
their sport, is basketball,
So
baseball and
that's what I
basketball.
wanted to know, I was like, well,
Yeah,
that's
baseball
what
and basketball.
LNIB.
The basket, they do a lot
Miles
better
is
in
doing
basketball
it.
than.
Oh, Miles is
I
doing
I
it.
passed it off to Samantha.
Okay, so
So we can talk about the meeting tomorrow.
do we need to do anything?
To my knowledge, at this point, no.
No,
but we
You
can talk
really-
to Samantha
they
about it.
probably
But
have
we don't
the
need, because I was
best
thinking, do we need to go
vibe
there and
for
like meet with them at
shot
all?
put
or-
discus
At this
hammer
point, I
throw
don't
at
think so.
Vanderbilt now.
Samantha's
They do
handling
almost
it.
Okay.
any place,
Just
in
check. Okay, good. All right,
any
so you
place in
have
the
that
country.
info. Well,
The guy that got,
it's out and
would
about,
place
and I
second
saw
to
it.
go to the
Great.
Olympics,
Yeah.
was
Look at
married
me.
his wife.
Sliding in
and
early.
And I said, oh, I
She
love
was
this.
a major.
Under, not my name, Discovery.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, he
Go
actually
me.
picked up an agent the next day and he'll be in Gainesville.
Bada bing, bada boom, we got one. All right. Good job.
Do we have one without me?
What's that?
We don't have one without me? Okay.
Right.
We don't have a whole lot on there.
Yeah.
You already told them
I
what
did.
my problem is? Okay.
We don't have a whole lot on there.
Well, I
Okay.
told him what the problem is you talked about this morning. I didn't tell him about all the problems.
So we
Ta-da!
can just.
Well played. Well
I
played.
put 2 cards.
Adjust the
I did
agenda,
ask if
do
you
the
don't mind
voting
signing
stuff,
them
and then
pass
she
them down.
can leave and we can do the other stuff. And just watch it.
Really, the only thing we have to vote on, right, is the agenda, right?
Agenda.
And the minutes.
Are you serious? Then I really can go. Awesome.
It's really just updates today.
Did I break something?
Guys, this really bothers me. I initially turned it down. I said, I have to do my job before I do a campaign thing. I just can't.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of pressure.
happens.
It's League of Women Voters. They do a lot of good jobs, in the county, so.
The revenue stuff, discussing that with the other counties while she's away this
They
weekend.
both
I
for
think,
Mike?
at the thing.
One's for Mike, one's for Jack.
No, I haven't. But I can't. You told me that, yeah, so I won't know right now.
Yeah.
Probably scatterbrains.
All
Before we
right.
start, Holly, when do you leave for
Yep, I
Tampa?
got 9 o'clock.
After the luncheon, Friday.
Okay.
All
All right.
right. Damn, that's loud on that table. Sorry, guys.
Well, Deckers will
I
know
should do
what's
that
here.
instead, yeah. Call this meeting of the Tourist Development Council to order. Today is July 10th, 9 a.m. And who would like to give the invocation? Anyone?
I would.
Can you mention Captain Fletcher? The fire captain? Nope. We lost a fire captain on 4th of July. So, anyway.
Heavenly Father, we're gathered here to do government business, and we ask that you guide us as we do it, and we always remember who we're working for and the ethics you have called us to. We ask you especially to bless those who are not well today, and the spirit of a fire captain who has gone down. Please support his family. Please support our community. We ask many things, but we ask them all in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. And the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please.
All right, roll call. Madam Holly Davis. Mike Ingles.
Here.
Michael Mankey.
Yep.
Mindy Hastings.
Here.
And Max Shulman.
Here.
Those who are not present are Dr. Desai, Jackie Helper, Luann Jacobs, Mike Shoemaker, and I believe that is it.
Okay, looking for approval of agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All right, have a motion by Michael Mankey, second by Max Schulman. Any board discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Looking for approval of the minutes.
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion by Mike Engel, second by Michael Mankey. Any board discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, open to the public. Would anyone like to address the board? Anyone? Anyone? No? Okay. Close open to the public. This is
Don't
going to be
beg.
fast. No, you can, 3 minutes is not going to kill me. And I'm very serious about doing my job, not running for my job, right? So then we'll close open to the public. There's no presentations. There's literally nothing else to vote on, right? Okay, take it away, and I'll scoot out of here when I do.
That is on you. You're the director.
Look at that. Well, good morning, everyone. This meeting is a really good meeting. It's just mostly updates. We've gotten through a lot of the things, grant processes and things of that nature. So we're good, and so we're excited to report to you some updates, some updates on some things we have going on at the VCB. So you can go ahead and switch to the next slide. Friday, July 5th was day actually 100 for me. I will not be counting anymore after this. This, of course, is a day 103.
Do you get like a 100-day chip, like AA or something?
No, but I have it was part of the whole 100-day plan. It gave me a good roadmap, some of the things that I wanted to accomplish and we wanted to accomplish as a staff and as a team, and we'll talk about some of those highlights. Met with over 75 partners and stakeholders since February the 19th. Done several presentations and forums, approximately 4 of those between myself and staff. We have 2, I want to say new and reoccurring now data-driven reports in STR and, of course, Zartico. We've launched a brand new tourism partner program. We've expanded our FAM program. And we've also launched a new business community social page. So we're all excited about those accomplishments. And in regards to that, we're also still working on a sales plan because we're just trying to get to that October 1, which is our new fiscal year. So the budgeting for that last phase is coming up. So we're really, I will say we're pretty excited about that because there's a lot of new things that we want to include into the budget this year. So we're looking forward to that. From an announcement standpoint, we're very excited. Our very own Ms. Kelly back here, she is our brand new destination experience specialist. So she has been promoted from her customer service position. So she's ready to go and going to really take our FAM program to the next level. And I think that's really excited about that. Not only just our FAM program, but just our from an experience standpoint, our media, our group tours, our people coming into the Welcome Center, just that overall experience. She's also going to be getting out to the community a lot more, as our office already has, but meeting all these partners and all these stakeholders. And she's going to be a little bit more active, being that face that they see to where, we can get a little bit more diverse in our offerings from a standpoint of when we offer these packages and all the cool things that we have to do in Citrus County. So we're really excited about that. And of course, that creates a new position. We got to backfill her position. So I'll do some massaging to that, changing that up a little bit. So we're excited about that. And hopefully our skeleton crew of 5 will grow to 6. Ideally, I think our sweet spot is about 8 people. And I think it'll help us out a lot, especially when people are traveling and out and maybe sick or whatever's going on. It's good to have enough bodies in the office to do what we need to do. So all the grants have been approved yesterday, actually, from BOCC. So I'm sure all of our grant applicants will
No drama.
We'll be happy about that. So that's great.
Literally or sarcastically?
Truly, no drama.
Yeah,
The early days of this board being interventionists seem to be,
Thumbs up.
Yeah. And then I
I
think
think
it
they
was,
have a lot more trust in the new director.
Well, and also I think it was a good diverse pool of candidates as well. They were kind of, you had Inverness, you had Floral City, we had Crystal River, so that was also really cool too. We had some new things on the that was approved as well. Also, Partners in Tourism, it's just really Pitt. It's going really great. We just had our second meeting at Paddle Tails, and honestly, that was a better showing than at the Monkey Bar for some of those who were there. So that was really great. We are skipping July because, scallop season, it just makes sense. So we won't have PIT meetings in July and December. December for obvious reasons, just personal travels, families. So our next one is August the 19th. You'll all have your invitations. You'll see a save the date as well coming out soon, which Alyssa's already working on in the office. And that will be at the Heritage Museum in Inverness. So we're really excited about that as well.
Oh, wonderful.
And because
Love that.
every meeting, we're going to go some new place
I
different.
love that.
East and west of the county.
Museum's awesome.
Yeah, so we're really excited about that. And we're going to also, there'll be some special surprises and offerings for RSVPs as well for that too. So make sure you get your RSVPs in so you can be nominated for some of these special prizes.
What date is that in August?
August the 19th.
19th,
Yes,
yeah.
which is a Wednesday. So you can remember it's always going to be the third Wednesday of each month, Destination Operating Systems Zartico, we just had our onboarding with the Zartico team. We already have the reports already. They're coming down, and honestly, it's simply stunning. So going forward, in these CDC meetings, reports from me, you'll start to see more of an analytical approach, talking about some percentages, talking about who these consumers are, where they're going, certain events, what we're seeing, where we need to kind of position our marketing efforts and things of that nature. So you'd be really excited to hear that. I believe, both you two gentlemen will be really interested in some of these numbers because I think it'll help the business as well, all of our business community, obviously. So we're excited about that. Upcoming, real quick, I'll end with this. Again, just still budgeting for 25, of course. Conference and trade shows. Next week, I will be out of town, but I'll be very close. I'll be in Tampa. Destinations International is pretty much our governing body of all of tourism for the most part, them and U.S. travel. But I'll be in Tampa starting Monday through Friday. Terry, she'll be also out of town. She'll be a little bit there as well, but she'll mainly be at ICAST in Orlando. So the two of us will be out, and then the other ladies will be womaning the office. I don't want to say manning the office, but womaning the office, taking up for us. So, but I'll be still available, of course, because I'm just right down the road. And the next thing that's the last thing that's on my, I guess, things to do to tackle is this tax and short-term rental, our distributions, our disbursements, I should say. There's been some talk about we're not possibly, getting that particular money from the short-term rental and the Verbos and the Airbnbs and stuff. So I've already been on calls with our tax collector, Janice, and then, of course, I know the Department of Revenue collects that for us in Leesburg office. So I'm on it, and hopefully I'll have some answers soon. I will say it is kind of like a Where's Waldo type of situation. But if there is money out there that, we are missing, you can be sure that I will uncover every rock and flip it up and rocks underneath the rocks to make sure that we are not missing out on any revenues, because the more revenues that we can uncover, the more things that we can do for the county and for tourism. So any questions on anything?
Well,
Yeah.
one is with regard to the new position. Are you allowed to offer people that you like and already interviewed and reviewed the record that position to see if they wanted it? In the federal government, we actually include a blurb on the end of every job that says these applications may be used for future similar jobs, which allows you to, because frequently people want to get into an organization, especially when it's on the uptrend like y'all are, and they're willing to take the next step.
Yeah. So the short answer, yes. So what I do is, obviously, when I meet a good candidate, and then we had a great pool of candidates. It was an open, post. It was an open post. So we got candidates really from all over. Kudos to Kelly for standing out from amongst the rest of the candidates. However, I keep those, resumes, and in regards to posting, because you have to post a position again, those candidates who I thought were like, wow, he or she may not be great for this position, may be great for something else. So I personally keep that in the back of my mind, but there's really no formal program to do that other than just from an interview process. But that's something that I look at clearly because I'm like, okay, all right, this is someone I can keep in the pool.
And the way that it gets used in the federal government is you go with you announce it, but you go with the shortest time possible, and you interview, if you're interviewing 2 or 3 people that you've already gone through
Yeah.
the record and interviewed, you can shorten your selection time.
Okay.
dramatically.
Yeah.
And the second question I had was in the various areas where I am told that frequently the taxpayers are about 1 in 10 compared to what, the number of hotels that comply. We have a way of looking at, hip camp, where people have campers on their property?
So we are also looking at RV resorts right now. If you're talking about campers on their property in regards to like them renting out campers on their property, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, it's a national system, just like all the other short terms, where they have a website, they advertise, and it's a person that essentially lets you camp in their yard.
Okay.
Generally, they have a bigger than yard to do that.
Okay, so honestly, I'm not aware of that, but I would love to get with you offline.
Okay.
If that'd be great, we can take this offline. I would love to know more information about that. That'd be great, yes. So if you can, just get together.
You bet.
We still we owe each other a lunch anyway. So wherever you want to take me out to, just let me know.
Okay.
Cool. Any other questions from the board? Okay, that's all I have. I'll move on to, I believe, Terry.
Yeah, there's some red in there, but you'll notice, it seems to be all throughout Florida, and I know that, there's been some conversation about, how are things going in our county versus other places in Florida, and as you can see, we're really kind of in the middle. We're not the worst, we're not the best, we're kind of just hanging in there, but, in the efforts to speed things up, really the big takeaway here is.
You really don't have to speed things up, just,
Oh, okay.
not for me, because I can walk out
Okay.
at any time.
Well,
so
what
it's all
I
good.
do want to point out is you'll see in our area and in several others, finally the ADR is coming down, that average daily rate, which has put off previously some of the tour operators and buyers that purchase travel, purchase accommodations to sell to individuals. That was sort of keeping them away, so it's great to see that's coming down. But as far as like our occupancy, I think we're doing pretty well for May. Keep in mind, again, this is May, we don't have the numbers for June yet. So looking in, I think what we're seeing is for July, we're a little soft. But word is getting out that we're having a pretty good scalloping season, so I think we're gonna start to see those numbers. People doing last minute scalping trips, which haven't been available before because we didn't have rooms. So I think because the last season, is my this opinion only, last season wasn't so good. Rumor got out, and people didn't make plans to come up here. Now we're doing well, and I think that we're gonna find that that's gonna change. Next slide. Now this is year to date, this is year over year, where we were May, in the totals, and you see that everybody is down in occupancy. That's in our comp set, but you will also, if I had the entire state and all the counties, you would see the same thing. Everybody's down. It's a combination, perfect storm type thing of happening. It's that softening of Florida, getting all the tourism from the COVID fallout. It's other destinations becoming more popular, so I'm not panicking. I don't think you should. There's my 2 cents. Michael might tell me different, but
Is that a sneeze?
bless you.
It's sort of a cough.
Oh, I got it.
I was trying to figure out if I
Whatever.
should bless you or,
Yeah, it was a,
Yeah.
Not.
BS.
Terry, there's
Yeah,
no reason to,
no, it wasn't an anecdotal comment.
there's no reason to panic. We should use the other word as plan.
Exactly, let's plan. Good point.
well said.
Yeah. So, again, we are, year over year, we're down 9%. Our fifth penny capital reserves are listed there. You can see, year to date, we're only 4% behind. We have made up some ground. So, like Michael Mackey said, we're planning. I know with our group, Miles Partnership, we're doing a lot more focus on drive markets, to try and get those folks here, cause they're sort of the easy targets, and focusing more on domestic travel. So I think I don't think we have any reason to panic, but we haven't seen red in a long time, I know. So, there it is. All right, that's all I got.
All markets ebb and flow. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the
Well,
way
we
it
were on a
works.
really good, like, we kept doing this, and we knew at some point it was gonna have to either do this or it was gonna go to so that's where we are.
Is it national too, or is it more a Florida thing?
It's more of a Florida thing, and I think it's a Florida burnout a little bit, because we were doing so well. I mean, for the first time
Right.
in
Yeah,
probably
it
10
wasn't
years, we were
sustainable.
#1. We were beating out California and New York, which hadn't happened in a long time, so I think it's a little burnout, but and I know Visit Florida's got some campaigns coming up too to try and boost that, so we'll always keep our eye out and participate in those as well. This is just a quick little, we had, How to Do Florida, if you remember, you all voted to allow us to use special projects money to, get, Crawford Entertainment out here for their How to Do Florida show. These are just some shots from their, filming, which was the last week in July.
Beautiful, beautiful shot of Monkey Island, which I still have PTSD over.
Spend the night, you'll be okay.
But anyway, it was a great event. You can see they were there with Crumps and mingled with them. Captain Hutchinson, is that him? Anyway, one of the captains out of Florida Cracker. So they had a great time. They managed to skate by the weather that week and get all the shots they needed on time. So he's really excited about what they got, and really looking forward to seeing what that episode brings for us.
Alrighty. Good morning. So we're gonna go over some social media stuff. So our best performing post on Facebook was Hernando Lake. I stopped by there one day and took some very pretty photos and did quite well, almost 50,000 accounts reached. As always, Captain Tony is our poster boy for our fishing page, but I might have a surprise for you next month. And then on our Instagram, it was a cute manatee video. And then we're still in second place, so that's positive. And then we did have some good results, in June. We had 825 followers on Instagram, which is quite a bit more than we normally get, so that was very positive. And then we had a lot of Facebook follows as well. That was up 62%. So pretty good numbers. Stories stayed pretty stable, like normal. Thank you. And these are upcoming fam trips, and then a couple that just occurred. So we had Joseph White, the publisher from Jacksonville Magazine. He was here. It was a kind of a combo trip. He stayed, I believe, at the plantation, and then he spent some time in Inverness, and I'll show you some photos of that trip. And then we had an Elvis Media fam trip, which was a great success. They stayed at Wood Spring Suites in Inverness, but then we had a day where I was the driver, and we went over to, we started out at Cattle Dog in Inverness, and then we drove over to Inglis and stopped there for the Elvis Follow That Dream locations, and then we met up for lunch. We met Elvis and at Waterfront Social, and then we ended up the day at the Elvis mural. So it was a really good fam trip. And everyone, I think, in our office participated in that, and we all went to different lunches or dinners, and we all, it was
The great thing about that too was that the mayor came in while we were at Cattle Dog.
Oh
right?
yeah, with me. That's right.
And
Yeah.
then Gene
right,
Davis,
that's
the councilman from Inverness, came in while we were at dinner at the Cove. So they were aware that we had a fam trip on their side of the town. So that was great.
Bye, Holly. Yeah, I know. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. That's right. So I was with the Media Fam tour. It was cattle dog breakfast, and I was there with Brittany, our PR person, who was also instrumental in making this happen. And then the mayor of Inverness walked in, and I introduced myself and introduced Brittany, and I introduced him to all of the Elvis media. So it was really nice that he could, see it up close and personal, like what we were doing. And then we have quite a few fam trips coming up, and Kelly, as Avis said, she's going to be handling those, and I'll be assisting wherever I can. So we have Creative Loafing and Orlando Weekly coming up, and they're going to be coming here taking photos and video because we're doing a sweepstakes with them. And one of the prizes is a trip to Citrus County, so they're coming specifically for that reason. Then on July 27th, we have a writer, a very well-established travel writer. He writes for the Telegraph in the UK. We got him from Gosh PR. But he's on a trip with Visit Florida, and he's going to bigger markets, so it's really nice that we're part of that. And then we have a scalloping media trip coming up at the end of the month, and that's obviously to promote scalloping season. We've got several journalists coming. And then in the beginning of August, we've got Mommy's Block Party. They are a mommy blogger. They're from North Carolina, so they're Drive Market, and they're going to be coming here and writing about everything to do with kids in Citrus County. So we'll have them riding the Withlacoochee Trail. We'll have them manatee snorkeling. Anyway, Kelly and I have already talked about how we're going to exploit what we have for kids in the county, and then what? Sorry. And then in the beginning of September, Outdoors Diva is coming. Her market is wealthy women of color, so it's a good market to have. And she's lovely. She's actually been here a couple of years ago, but we're going to send her scalloping, and we're going to do a couple other things with her. She's really nice content creator.
Yeah, Lauren's good. I took her scalloping,
Okay.
and it's outdoorsy. There's a Y on the end.
Yes. Okay, so then, thank you, Christina. And then we did really well with our impressions and our views. So we had over 6 million impressions this month, which is excellent. And then we can. And a big part of that was because we were included in a Condé Nast Traveler article, 4.7 million. And then we had a Fox 13 Tampa Bay piece done on us. And then we had fishing for big reds in the Chronicle. So quite good. And then I just wanted to share some of the stuff that we've been a part of. Avis and I attended the inaugural Tastes and Tales walking tour of Inverness. It was I thought an absolute success. She chose, I think it was 3 or 4 restaurants in Inverness, and then we ended up at the distillery, but it was Twisted Vine, and then it was the Bistro 2 Kitchen, and then it was Cattle Dog, and then the Storm Distillery. And they all, I thought they knocked it out of the park, and
Yeah.
the food was wonderful, and I'd never been to Storm Distillery. That's an amazing place, so I thought we would drop that in there. And she'll be doing more tours in Crystal River. She even said maybe Homosassa, and then also back to Inverness. And let's see where I am. Okay. And then these are just a couple photos of some of our fam trips and our media tour. I just took some photos of the Elvis media trip, and that was that photo on the bottom left. That one was the night that Follow That Dream was shown at the Valerie, and it was absolutely packed. So Bobby, who's the manager there, he held like 12 seats for us, and then the rest he sold to the public, and they sold out. So
Yeah, I think the cool thing about that, the movie, if I'm not mistaken, when we reached out to them for the Elvis showing,
oh yeah, we did.
they asked us, hey, can we open this to the public? You know, because I think we were going to kind of do the whole private showing or something like that. So we were like, sure, and it completely sold out. So that was like pretty awesome. You know, so I feel like, you know, the office was responsible for a sellout, you know, something that they wasn't going to have, you know, otherwise, you know, not that they don't have sellouts, but that was pretty cool.
No, Bobby was actually kind of surprised that it did sell out like that, and not only that, but people were calling and want them to screen it again. So it was a big success for them, and our media tour loved it. And then I just wanted to show some photos of Jacksonville Magazine. That's Joseph White and his family, and there's Luann. She was nice enough to come by the table and meet with them, and then she gave them a private tour of the cove and of the little cabins there, and how beautiful that spot is. And then I just threw in a nice shot of the plantation because they stayed there. So I think that's it. Thank you.
Oops, I lost the agenda.
Good morning. Oh, sorry, I just want to report on the visitor center real quick. This month, we've seen visitors from 14 states, Florida, Tennessee, and Mississippi. And for international visitors, Germany, UK, Sweden, and Denmark.
Anything else from staff?
That's all.
Other business, council members, Max, Mike, Mindy? Mindy, go ahead.
Nothing really to report. June, Three Sisters saw 1,600 visitors. That puts them at a little over 84,000 for the year. Did want to mention, though, that the city is looking hard at an alternative location to get our staff into a temporary long-term location. So hopefully you'll have your space sometime in the
Right, that'll
soon-to-be near future.
Yeah. I know, I think it was supposed to be discussed, I want to say, at the last council, but I believe the mayor wasn't there, so I think you guys kind of held that off a little bit, so, yeah. And I'm sure you guys want to be together, the city, and I mean, I know you guys are all over the place, and
They are.
and have done an amazing job under this circumstances. And then too, when we talked about expanding, you know, we are limited to expand from a staffing standpoint until we get some of that space back. You know, we know that. So, and I believe the city knows that as well. So, but we're all working together. So that's what this great
And
community does.
we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Mike?
Maybe they should have Mr. Limpet premiere at the Valerie. See how it goes.
That was
Go
more
back to some
wiki-wacky,
retros.
wasn't it?
It was, but they stayed at the port.
Oh, true, that's right, they did.
If you Google it, you'll see they bust them in there and then bust them down and back and forth. And
That's true.
just another history. Or you could do the Forgotten Mermaids with Rod Serling and Jacques Cousteau, and when they brought Sue or Sam up here from Miami and
Oh.
fixed them in Three Sisters and sent them on their way.
Now, that might be a good idea, right
Well,
there.
and Buddy's still around. Buddy still lives here, so he was when they filmed it, he was in high school, but
Oh, yeah.
he's, I forget his exact title, like Clearwater Marine Aquarium, and he's on the board for the Friends of the Refuge. So Buddy Powell's still in town.
That is a really good idea for the Valerie, because like Follow That Dream, there are several movies that are real dear to the community that don't get wide showing at all anymore. And I bet you would actually pack the theater for Mr. Limpet.
Just a thought.
All right, I like it.
The only other thing, to speak to our down sort of turn in tourism or whatever we're seeing, which again I think is a combination of a perfect storm of all the things we've talked about. But part of the challenge, I think, your fatigue concept, we've always sort of lived off of and still will live off of great, unique experiences, manatees, scalloping, pristine waterways, freshwater to saltwater, environments. Don't know if there's anything else out there, but I have this little term. It's like, what's the next great was? Scalloping was, manatees, was, pickleball was, is going to be a was in another couple of years. But is there another great was that we're missing, or that we can create, or that we can promote that we haven't really tapped into yet. Now that we've got the, you know, I don't know, from a physics perspective, if your car has 55 horsepower, it takes all of that to get to 70 miles an hour. But then once you get to 70 miles an hour on the interstate, you back off the gas pedal, and 5 miles an hour, 5 horsepower will keep you going 70. So we got the other stuff up to 70. Now is there something else we can take some of our energy with and find the next great was for Citrus County? And again, I live here, live it, but I can't tell you what it is off the top of my head at this point. I don't know, maybe a resurgence. I know you did a lot of video shoot, or CCA did a lot of video shoot. They, you know, were a star there releasing redfish. Is there something we should revive on that for the last part of this fall, so August, September, since it still runs, and scalloping seems, I think we've always taken a back seat to the star with scalloping, but this year scalloping isn't providing quite the boost that it used to, so maybe we could put some more emphasis behind. There's a lot of great content that exists. You releasing that redfish on the, you know, and I know the CCA is doing a lot with that footage. You've got a ton of it. Maybe something with that for the short term that could help us boost that, because I still don't, it's amazing to me, even my own team doesn't get the fact that we have twice as much of a chance to catch a tagged $100,000 boat redfish in Citrus County than any other county except Charlotte in the state of Florida, and I don't think the rest of the world really gets it, knows it, and sort of up to us to tell them, so.
No, we definitely can repurpose, I believe, or not maybe say repurpose, but we can definitely use some of that video
Re-promote,
that was on there.
If we had an alt campaign that was something along the lines of great place for adventure and to relax, and hit certain periods, especially between now and the election, there's a whole bunch of overstressed, burnout people that if we said, I gotta tell you, I just, you know, drove from Oregon all the way back, and
Oh, you drove?
yeah.
Oh, bless your heart.
It was amazing, and I've lived in almost every place. I actually lived every place along the way, but Oregon and Northern California are really working a great place to relax. You know, to go radio silent. There's something there, and it would be, you know, we've got the great adventure cycle filling in the downtimes with the great relaxation cycle. Might be a good thing
Don't
this
know
year.
what, that might be the next great was.
Okay.
So I don't know, just throwing out that, since we're short on, you know, people and time and we got stuff, it's,
Good points.
how do we rejuvenate in another direction while we're still maintaining the foot on the pedal for the stuff that's got us here? Because like I shared with you earlier, and I think Mr. Ingalls will share, most of my scallopers this year are new people. So the repeat folks are not giving us that base we used to have and then get the new people. So, and we're doing good. We're not doing great, as we've discussed.
Right.
So we've done well getting the message out to the new folks, but apparently the old folks or the repeat folks aren't interested in repeating as frequently or as aggressively as they have in the past. So that may change once again, to your point. We've had some years of not so great harvest. And by the way, if you can swim down to 9-10 feet, I hear that's where they're at. They're a little further off. Fill up your bag in 30 minutes if you can hold your breath to 9 feet.
And shallow.
Yep.
It's like either extreme.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Yeah, so that's just my 2 cents worth to add to the conversation.
Okay.
Well, you'd be glad to know that, I just discovered yesterday that Avis knows the, what was the gentleman's name for the Major League Bass?
Oh, Major League Fishing, Mike Malone.
Yeah.
Mike
Yeah.
Malone,
So,
my buddy.
Yeah, good. We've been knowing Mike I've been knowing Mike for years.
You coming to ICAST at all?
no, cause he's gonna be at, Destinations.
Yeah.
Because they have a booth there.
Yeah, I'm going to be reaching out to him. A friend of mine was just in town golfing with Mike, and I was like, you know what? I forget. I'm in Florida now, so I said, let me reach out to Mike. What I want to do is I want to get Mike down to the market, get him out here for a couple of days.
We had him here a couple years ago. Him and the family did manatee tours,
Yeah.
fishing, boating. Because Mike and I got to know each other when I was in Southwest Florida. We were
Okay.
bidding against the Redfish Trail
Yep.
between Captiva and Punta Gorda. Punta Gorda won.
Yeah. So another Mike, basically.
Yep.
You know.
We rule the world. We just don't
Never
tell
had too
anybody.
many.
You never have to.
All right.
Yeah, we're short today.
Yeah, right. And then, I look at everybody, M, it's like the M's, Awesome. But I'm definitely be reaching out to Mike and, try to do some, see what we can do with him
Perfect.
on the fishing thing. Talk about with the manatees and scalloping. I think it's just also looking for how do we balance that out, as a tourism community, an entity. And I think there are some things that'll be part of the strategic plan once we kind of get our focus groups too. So keep that in mind as we get into the new fiscal year. Who knows? I mean, hopefully some sports tourism may come out of that. We're not a huge meetings destination because of the spacing, but there's some state associations and things that we can do from a meeting standpoint that we can promote and advertise as well, and get some of that corporate groups and corporate business too. I think that's, they spend a lot of money. So those are some of the things that I hope that would likely come out of the strategic planning and to kind of get a true product analysis on what we have. And not to mention, from a strategy standpoint, when we look at that 3 to 5 year plan, hopefully we can use those capital monies before they get, kind of picked apart through something where we can develop a true capital project that, again, can counterbalance the water, the manatees, the scalloping, the nature coasting of it, but to have something else. And I think that'll be huge because it can kind of not so much change our seasons, but it can, take some of our, low seasons and kind of increase business on that side of things as well. So, so that's what I'm really excited about too, because like you said, there's, scalloping, it's good and but it's like, it's coming down off of the high. Everything has a high in this market. Scalloping is one of those things, you can probably even say the same thing about manatees, but we also, we just don't want to be a one-trick pony. It happened to Detroit with the automotive industry. You saw what happened there, and then they came across with this campaign of Pure Michigan to say, hey, look at all these beautiful lakes we have. Some of the lakes they have are Caribbean in color. Look at the South and textile industry, when the textile industry went belly up, in the 80s and the 70s, so they had to, again, one trick pony. So we don't want to, we know what our golden egg is. We just don't want to use it. We don't want to overuse the golden egg because eventually, it's like, okay, and then of course I think the boomers are also, people don't realize this. The boomers, those numbers are changing, so we have to prepare for that. So, the boomers are, they may not be spending as much money, or they may be getting older, or they may not be here, things of that nature. So there's a new Gen Z, Gen Y, there's a whole new demographic of people that we have to communicate with, and not just us, I believe the state of Florida as well. So that's just, again, something else to consider.
The older Gen Xers.
Yeah.
That's the next major target.
Yep. I agree.
Anything else, Max?
Just along those lines, our county strategic plan and with the changes in economic development, somehow there needs to be a way to look at things that are separators in tourism. One of the things that's happening is they're homogenizing Florida. Everybody's getting to look the same. Somehow we need to identify not necessarily TDC, not necessarily all, but it's got to be a catch-all with economic development on things that we could develop that would make our identity just a little bit different. Pick one or two things that would encourage folks to come during that downtime.
And that's the whole purpose of that strategic plan that I'm talking about, to identify these things, from these groups, to figure out, okay, what can we, not only what can we bring here, but what can we support,
And how can we get it done in less than 32 years? Like every freaking project we have, it's like, build the boardwalk and like put a boat ramp in. Come on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The only thing, scout season's off, just anecdotally driving up and down, I did not see the number of boat trailers at hotels, 119, et cetera. Number of launches was down, number of charters is down, merchandise sales are like, nada. So, I mean, it's often, but maybe, with reports of scalps, it'll pick up. I picked up 200 of the scalps orders from IFAS Brooksville. So, I passed out, if I got to 100, I passed out about 188 of them. I've got about a dozen left. They were well received by the public, just building awareness of leave the little guys out there, let them grow. I know you're involved with CCA and they have their own version of it, but same idea, leave the little ones. So whether people use them or not, or there's at least an awareness and initial discussion on it. The couple days I was out, the scallops I found, I never found any smaller than that. I mean, all the ones I found were bigger than that. So
Pretty good sized scallops this year.
so I never had to, actually toss any out. I know when you're out there some days and you're having trouble finding them, it's real tough to put a little one out there, let it go. But yeah, there's no need anyway. So I think that's a good program. I guess it was a research grant, which is why Brooksville had them, or Hernando County had them, but Citrus didn't. But I don't know if there's a way to tap in and we can get more of them up here for next year.
Terry has an update on I don't know.
Yeah, we actually have the ability to get as many of those scallop sorters as we need from CCA.
Okay.
There's a business in Crystal River that's making them. So
Oh,
we
okay.
just have to order them in advance. And currently, we have a little less than 1,000 at our office. So if anybody wants them, they're welcome to come. We're gonna do a social media out on our partners page and an email.
An email to all the tour operators.
All the tour operators to let them know we have them, and they're welcome to come by and get 25 at a time. We're gonna try and, because it's more for them to be on the boat than to give out as it's not a souvenir, it's a tool,
Right.
right?
But at the marina, I was giving them out as people were launching.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you figure, 1 or 2 per boat. I think that's
Oh, yeah.
Right? Are you
Yeah,
gonna
no one's
create
sticking
some
busy.
content with cute little kids saying, no, I want the scallops to be here when I'm ready to go, or something? We have a lot of cute little kids that do great videos,
we could look at
That
something. That's
actually
gonna be-
had a-
Something
It's not a bad idea,
along
actually.
the lines of the one that you like with this city that we just did.
Manatee one, yeah.
Yeah.
An informative, fun,
Yeah, it's light, but the message
Yeah.
is there.
short,
Yeah.
but
That's a
gets
good
the
idea.
message.
Get on that, would you?
Hey, well, the good thing is I know a couple cute little kids. I got a 15-year-old and 18-year-old who'll be here Saturday, so they'll be a part of the video too.
There you
They can,
Yeah. I mean, it's important for as many people as we do have coming here and enjoying the waterways and enjoying the different things that we offer here, that they're educated
Yeah.
on how to keep it that way.
Yeah.
And,
I agree.
for future
Yeah,
generations.
potentially the tie-in, don't chuck them in fresh water type,
Yeah.
the shell stuff. So there's a couple different ecological messages that
Right.
could be tied in. You don't want to get it too broad or, it loses impact, but just as far as the sustainable tourism. So,
I have a question for
spitballing, sorry.
Right, no, it's great.
one of y'all. Sorry, off same topic, but I'm the president of our homeowners association. I live in Woodland Estates, and so I have to send out. Please don't do these things, And one of the things was don't shuck your scallops at your dock and throw them back in the canal. And I had multiple people, and I just thought that was common courtesy. I don't know if it really I don't know. So what is the answer to that? Is there a detrimental effect? Because I had people blast me about, don't tell me what to do, about throwing the shells back in.
I think there's science on it that it's not good for the scallop shells to be in the freshwater environment. I mean, if you were out on the flats and you shuck them and throw them, I don't think it's a problem when you're out in the salt water. We even have a shucking shack, as we always do. They just bag them and we throw them in the garbage can. And we also have, there's one group that comes and picks them up that then uses them to, so most of them get picked up by this third party. I can't remember what it is. Do you know?
Yeah, now I can't remember their name.
Well,
but
think
they're
about
out
it
of
while I'm
Rosella.
talking. I'll buy you some time. And then they take them and create reefs with them later on. Same with oyster shells out of restaurants and stuff. But yeah, no, to your point, a bunch of years ago, I took a video of Captain Don Chansey up at the
Oh, that's
plantation.
right.
And he's like, well, how do you clean a scallop? And he's standing on our cleaning station. And he's like, well, you pop off you take the shell and, the bottom part's the color, you leave it down, you take the target, you pop the shell, and he throws the shell in the water. And then he goes to scoop out the whatever and show how to do it. Now, 13 years ago, I got 150,000 views on it, and everybody went, hooray. I reposted it like 5 years ago, and the first thing on the thing was one of our own fellow industry, you can't throw the shell in the water. I'm like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't, yeah.
Well, and I think part of it, if it's the springs or shallow water, it's gonna cover up the yield grasses, and then you start building,
Yep.
Sure.
other detrital material.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Way back, we had patches on around the seawall at the plantation that were just scallop shells from people sitting on the
Right.
side, popping them and
Yeah,
cleaning
I've
them.
got a cleaning station. Between that cleaning station and my seawall, there's a mound of scallop shells. But it's one small area, and some people come by, artisans that come and they scoop them up, and they make night lights out of them and paint them, and
Yeah, if we could find out what that, maybe you could push the concept that
Yeah,
to
'cause-
rejuvenate the world, don't throw them here, but collect them there, and they'll come by and get the, I'll see if I can figure out who that was too.
Yeah. Be great.
blanking on his name. He came in and presented here too about it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're out of Ozillo, right?
No, I'm thinking the one on 19 is the taco truck. He was the one magazine.
Figure
I'll see
it
if I
out.
can find it.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
I hate when I don't have the answer.
That could-
I mean, I was
yeah.
saying it out of common courtesy, and then I was being questioned, like scientifically, what the problem.
I live in a community down south, and it's like some lady was all bent out of shape because somebody was cleaning their fish on their cleaning station, throwing the fish carcasses in the water. Yeah, that's what you do. Let the other
Well-
fish eat it and let the stuff go, and it's like,
The
But
other
we-
fish get bigger.
right,
Yeah.
it's like,
Well, I don't disagree with that, but then you'll have people who are cleaning, that've gone out on a whole fishing, and they got
And
them
you got the
laid
dead
out, and I
carcasses.
mean, they're inundating the canal with
Yeah.
carcasses, so,
right,
anyway.
yeah, if they don't puncture the air bladder,
exactly, yeah.
the carcasses are
back to
floating
needing
around.
fish grinders.
Yeah.
The
So,
bull sharks will
yep.
show up and take care of that.
Anyway, education.
So, a couple of different points. Nothing else by council members, open to the public? You gentlemen have anything you want to add? Okay, not gonna beg. Next meeting is gonna be Wednesday, the 14th of August at 9 o'clock, right here. Other than that, if I could get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
So moved. Second.
And we don't have a quorum, so I guess we can't vote, but
Yeah.
we're out of here.
Now what do I do for the next hour and 10 minutes?